What is going on, guys? You are watching Erik's Joystick. I'm Erik, of course, and today we're going to talk about a game that I really enjoyed. It's called Severed. Severed is a first-person dungeon-crawling action RPG developed by Drinkbox Studios, who developed the great action platformer Guacamelee. It kind of reminds me of games like Legend of Grimrock or The Legend of Zelda or even Fruit Ninja. The story is very simple and straightforward. You're Sasha. You wake up in a strange and scary world with your right arm severed. You look into the mirror. You find a dark spirit behind you. You're given a sword. Your quest is to slay a dragon and find your family. Throughout your adventure, you'll explore dungeons, solve puzzles, and fight monsters. When you defeat these monsters, you can cut and maim them, and use their limbs to upgrade your stats. In each dungeon, you'll encounter a boss. You gain new armor parts from defeating each boss. Kinda sounds like Zelda, doesn't it? Anyway, you gain new spells and abilities as well, like charge attacks, that can be used to aid you in your quest. Unfortunately, other than a few exceptions, the enemies you encounter are mostly the same. As you progress through the game, the enemies you face will become stronger. Fights will start to require more strategy. The boss fights can be especially tough too, but they feel super satisfying when you learn the right strategies and finally overcome them. One thing I dig about this game is that it encourages you to revisit the dungeons you once previously completed, making certain rooms with power-ups and other items only accessible with those spells and abilities you gain. There's no fast travel, but it's forgivable since movement in dungeons are grid-based, if that makes sense. It makes traversing through the game's world very fast. The combat is hands down the best part of the game. Combat is all done on the touchscreen and is very focused on countering attacks and remembering enemy patterns. As I've said before, later fights will require to use spells that you learned early on, making every spell and attack at your disposal very useful. I really like and appreciate that. Battles require constant focus, which in turn makes them very engaging. The enemies hit hard and sometimes fast, and if you're not careful, your fights will end in a quick death. Not to worry though, you respawn right before each battle, ready to jump back in. Some people say it makes the game a bit easier, and I agree, but the dungeons tend to drag a little before you reach the end, so it's forgivable to me. Other than the UI being very shrunk down on the 3DS, the graphics are terrific. It has a similar art style to Guacamelee, which is interesting because of how somber this game is, yet somehow it fits the tone of this game's bizarre and mysterious world. I love the crazy colorful designs of the creatures and environments. Unfortunately, because you're going to be focused on the map most of the time, you'll barely get to take time to appreciate said art. The game runs nice and smooth on both the 3DS and the Wii U, and it looks great no matter what resolution you're playing it on. The music is amazing. The soundtrack is composed by Yamantaka, Sonic Titan, and Pantayo. I have no idea who they are, but I hear they're big in Canada or something. One thing I like about the soundtrack is that each area has this dynamic shift in music, depending on whether you're in battle or traveling. It also captures the general vibe of the game perfectly. Very bizarre and mysterious and intense and somber. Have a listen. Also, the ending theme is kinda corny, but I like it. I finished the game in about 8 hours. It was long enough for me to have a good time without getting too tiresome, but short enough to make you want more out of it. I honestly wish there was more to this game, because after you finish it, there isn't much else to it. No hard mode, no extras, nada. Part of me wished there was a roguelike element to it, because combat is just that fun and feels that damn good. The exploration and dungeon crawling isn't bad at all, but it did leave a little bit to be desired. I mostly played the 3DS version, and it's my preferred way to play since my hands started cramping up after playing the Wii U version for after about an hour or so. The game's story, while short and simple to a fault, resonated with me as it deals with themes like loss, grief, and even disability. It also seems a bit cryptic to me too. I like cryptic stuff sometimes. All in all, I really enjoyed this game and I want more out of it. I definitely recommend it. You can find Severed on the 3DS, Wii U, PS Vita, and on iOS. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I know it's been a while since I've actually put out a video, so hoping 2017 is going to be a better year for that kind of stuff. Stay tuned. We'll see what happens. I'm Erik, and I'm out of here. Peace out.